Welcome to Series 2, My Character.
We encourage you to listen to the experiences of others that can help us grow into who we want to be.
Let's get started. Want to see people who model good character and integrity?
Meet one of the Air Force Academy graduates and learn about our first college you can attend, our very distinguished Air Force Academy that attracts students from all over the United States.
Colorado is 4 seasons of breathtaking scenery and adventure. Set against the Rocky Mountains on over 18,000 acres is a place where pushing your limits is expected, the United States Air Force Academy. Celebrating 60 years of excellence and commitment, this is where you can get a world-class education that will broaden your horizons, galvanize your character, and help pave the way to an exciting career. A place where future leaders emerge. A 4-year college is expensive, but choosing the United States Air Force Academy is accepting a tuition-free education. And while some college graduates struggle to find jobs, an Air Force Academy graduate is guaranteed a profession as an officer in the United States Air Force. A world-class education is just the beginning. From the moment cadets arrive, they face real-world challenges. They get hands-on experiences that push them to their limit and beyond.
Students have full engineering backgrounds. They're taking chemistry, physics, bio, history. International study is really important here. So I currently have a student in Sri Lanka. I had a student last year in Jordan. They come back learning so much.
Being here, I've done more than I ever thought I could ever do with my entire life. I mean, you don't realize what your limits are until you've pushed all of them and realize that you have incredible potential.
Academics are just part of it. Athletics are also in the curriculum. In fact, every cadet is an athlete. The Air Force Academy offers 27 intercollegiate programs. Both men and women compete in Division I of the NCAA, and most sports teams are members of the Mountain West Conference. It's not just discipline and exercise. It's also one of the best leadership opportunities the Air Force Academy has to offer. But what truly sets this academy apart is character and leadership development. Excellence is expected every day through all types of training. There are facilities where cadets do active research for a variety of organizations throughout the Department of Defense, Air Force, and NASA, to name a few.
The projects that we're asking them to engage in as an opportunity to develop leaders who really are thinking about choices that they have to make and consequences of things, and even creative ways of approaching problems and projects.
I know someday I'm going to have an impact on lots of people, and I love that. I'm a totally different person. I'm still me, but I'm a better me.
The requirements are demanding, the rewards are many, and successful completion means becoming an officer in the world's most respected air, space, and cyberspace force.
I started looking into service academies in the beginning of my junior year, went to summer seminar before my senior year, and I began my application process basically as soon as I got back from summer seminar.
I was a very disciplined student as a high schooler, but even so, it took me a long time to get everything in.
I'd say that the typical application process lasts about 4 to 6 months, and it opens March 1st of a student's junior year and closes December 31st of a student's senior year.
There's just so much as part of this application as far as blood tests, eye tests, congressmen recommending you.
I think the biggest obstacles were making sure I met all my deadlines, just because there were so many deadlines to keep on track with.
I had a great support system. My mom actually had this checklist of all the items that I had to get on it. Every time whenever I'd go home, she'd be like, "Hey, Lindsay, let's sit down, let's look at this." figure out what we have left to do, and make sure that you get this taken care of.
So what really helped me and supported me was my recruiting football coach here at the Air Force Academy. He would call me once a week, make sure I was on top of what I needed to be on.
I had a lot of support from my ALO, which stands for Admissions Liaison Officer, and he was a grad himself, so he was able to help me through the application process as well as give me tips about how to survive the academy.
My school counselor was really helpful, especially with the academic portion of it. So she would keep me updated on SAT dates, ACT deadlines. So that helped my application just due to the fact that there was somebody supporting me and that believed that I would be able to be successful at the academy.
It's the type of person that can get through the application that says, hey, this is the type of person that's going to push through and be able to do great things in our Air Force. It's just a preliminary part of the exam. Do you truly want to go here?
I'm definitely happy that I pushed through the application process my senior year of high school, and I'm here now 5 years later.
My ALO, he was always there helping me, and we're still in contact today. He's giving me tips for pilot training. I'm very lucky to have him.
So find that person who's going to push you and not let you quit, because it's going to pay off in the end.
Hey everyone, I'm Second Lieutenant Andrew Weiss, and I'm an admissions advisor for the United States Air Force Academy. I just graduated from USAFA in 2020, and I can honestly say it was one of the best times of my life. Getting to go there, I got to learn so much about myself and the world, met so many awesome people, and got to take part in some very unique experiences for sure. The Academy wasn't always easy, but it was definitely worth it. And it offers so many awesome opportunities for those who are willing to put in that work. So I challenge you guys to start putting in the work now. Challenge yourself physically, academically. Take on those leadership roles within your community that set yourself apart from your peers and show that you are a competitive candidate for the United States Air Force Academy. If you have any questions about Academy life, please visit academyadmissions.com, or you can chat with an admissions advisor such as myself at usafa.admissions.programs@usafa.edu. With that, I wish you all the best of luck in your futures. And remember to just dream big. If you dream big, create that solid plan, you can accomplish anything. So stay safe, everyone, stay healthy, and have a great day.
Nice to hear about one option to serve our country and get our education paid for. And it's in Colorado Springs.
It is a highly selective college, so preparing to apply needs to start soon. All those opportunities open so many doors.
And we give a special thanks for all the men and women who serve our country. Great words of motivation and hope are being shared in all of these videos, and the cool thing is,
they are coming from people just like us, who grew up here and never stopped believing in themselves.
Stephen Trujillo, director of the Latino Chamber, has some really cool words to share.
Hello, my name is Stephen Trujillo, and it is such an honor to be coming to you today to share just a little bit about what I think many of you are probably going through at this particular time. I think back to when I was in 8th grade and all of the different thoughts and emotions that I had about what's next, what is high school going to bring, questions that started to come up about what do you want to do for a career, where do you want to go, what do you see yourself doing in 10 years, 15 years, all of these different things coming to me at one point. And as I look back on that particular time, if I tried to imagine all of the things that I would have accomplished or done, I just never could have. And so I'm here today to tell you and hopefully share with you just a little bit about some of the things that I've learned on my journey so far. And maybe, just maybe, it'll help you out as you begin to take this next step for your journey. The first thing that I remember, and one of the questions that always came up, was about where do you see yourself going? What do you want to do for a career? And sometimes that's a hard question to ask, especially when you're in 8th grade, going into high school. You're not sure. You're not sure what's out there. You're not sure what is available to you. The one thing I will tell you, point number one, is strive to continue learning. Stay hungry for education, for experiences. Try out those different programs. Get involved in your campus. Get involved on a high school campus. Ask questions about things like an early college program. For me, the early college program was one of the gateway opportunities that I took advantage of, and it brought a whole new world of opportunities to me. It was in that program that I identified and was able to then answer the question what I wanted to do for a career, and that was go into business. I knew that I loved the world of business, the ability to create, And all of those different things came as a result of me just seeking out different opportunities. So again, number one, stay hungry for education and for learning and experiencing all that a campus has to offer. Get involved with those things. And most importantly, point number two, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to find a mentor, somebody that has gone through different programs, gone through different experiences, that can share with you what it was like. These are the types of things that when I look back from my time from 8th grade to where I'm at today, all of the experiences and the accomplishments that I have been blessed to have been because of the people around me. Mentors, friends, family, people that had walked that journey before me and could share what to do or what it was like to help me understand what I was going to experience. One of the last points that I want to leave you with is this. It is never too early and you're never too young to begin writing your own story. Sometimes we feel the pressures of those around us that we have to do certain things, that we have to say certain things, we have to look a certain way or whatever it may be. You are who you are and you should be proud of it. Own that. That may be a concept of leadership. It may be something that you look at in different textbooks or what have you. But this is something that you control each and every day. Who you are, where you go. There is never an age or there is never a year in which then you can take control of your story. You are the author of that story. So I would encourage you, own that. Write that story. You are who you are and there's no one else out there like you. So as you begin to take advantage of opportunities and programs that are put in front of you, do so wholeheartedly. Put all of your effort into it. And if you fail, it's okay. Get back up, dust yourself off, and persevere and move forward. People will never remember how you fell, but they'll remember how you got up, how you rose above the challenge and the occasion, and how you persevered. That's leadership. That is integrity. And my belief is that each and every one of us has that deep within somewhere. It's just an opportunity for us to dig down, find it, harness it, own it, and then most importantly, use it for yourself and the benefit of others. So I can't begin to tell you enough just how important these things are to you and your future. So just remember that there are people out there to support you, there are people out there to help you, there are people out there to guide you. All we have to do is ask. So remember to stay hungry, to always learn new things, to get involved and take advantage of every opportunity. Leave no stone unturned. And last but not least, own that story. Be who you are. Be proud. Be that leader that is within you, because you are the only one just like you.
Have you started your life story?
It's never too early.
MYLIFE ACES will also focus on possible career fields we might be interested in. Do you like TV programs like CSI or Law & Order or even Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I don't, but my brother does.
Then this info on the Colorado Bureau of Investigations might be of interest to him.
Background checks for jobs, criminal investigations, managing crime information, forensic services, firearms background checks. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation has been serving its law enforcement partners and Colorado residents since 1967. Part of the Colorado Department of Public Safety, the CBI team is a group of dedicated professionals committed to providing quality service to its customers. I'm Susan Medina, spokesperson for the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, where it's an honor to serve. We're going to give you a brief overview of the many services the CBI provides. With its rich history, the CBI is built on a foundation of commitment and quality, and we strive to provide the very best service possible each and every day to each and every customer. The CBI operates 3 full-service offices in Colorado, including Denver, Grand Junction, and Pueblo, with satellite offices throughout the state. The CBI is comprised of 3 unique functions: investigations, forensic services, and criminal justice information systems. First up, CBI InstaCheck. This team is responsible for conducting all background checks for firearm sales in the state. Open 7 days a week, InstaCheck processes hundreds of thousands of these critical public safety checks each year. CBI's investigative agents respond to crime scenes at the request of local law enforcement. Members of the Major Crimes Unit investigate hundreds of cases each year, while the Identity Theft Team works hard to stay one step ahead of criminals. Members of the Gaming Unit investigate illegal gambling in the state of Colorado, while a specialized team works with federal agencies to reduce fraud. Our Missing Persons Unit oversees the critical Amber Alert program, and our Cold Case Unit is working to bring justice for victims and their families. Finally, CBI is home to 2 arson canine teams responsible for investigating hundreds of fires each and every year. The CBI Identification Unit performs civil, fingerprint-based background checks for more than 60 professions throughout Colorado. They also process criminal arrest fingerprints for identification and criminal histories for those arrested in the state. This equates to hundreds of thousands of checks each year. Moving on to CBI's Forensic Services Division, this group provides law enforcement with the critical function of scientific testing related to criminal investigations. DNA testing, firearms testing, drug chemistry, toxicology, latent prints, and other disciplines come together to offer law enforcement quality testing critical to the successful prosecution of thousands of cases each year. Program support provides the important service of managing the state's sex offender registry. They also work with more than 200 Colorado law enforcement agencies to house crime statistics. Finally, CBI maintains the Colorado Crime Information Center, accessed by law enforcement every day. Whether through investigations, forensic services, or managing crime information, the CBI strives to provide excellence in leadership, service, and support to Colorado residents, and to improve the quality of life in our beautiful state. There are many ways to find the CBI and the services we offer online and through social media. Look us up today.
Wow, talk about a career with the CBI that focuses on the character of individuals and businesses.
And in so many areas: investigations, forensic services, criminal justice information systems.
They must hire lots of people to serve this entire state.
I may have to keep this career field in mind as I prepare for life after high school graduation. Sounds exciting.
Or just watch TV with your brother. Do you donate to any causes?
With what money?
Well, how much do you think you have to give?
Hundreds?
No, we can volunteer for free, give a few dollars. Every little bit helps and makes a difference in our community. Just watch as Shanna Farmer, president of the United Way, tells us how.
Hello, MYLIFE students. My name is Shanna Farmer, president and CEO of United Way of Pueblo County. I am happy to be with you to discuss some of the work we do and spotlight the importance of community involvement. United Way of Pueblo County is a local nonprofit serving as a community impact organization, working hard to ensure that resources make the most significant impacts for those who need our help. Our mission is to develop donor resources to enhance the quality of life for the people of Pueblo County. This means we serve as fundraisers and change makers. The spirit of giving began in 1923, when community leaders raised money by going door to door. It was first known as the Community Chest, then the United Fund, and now United Way. While the name has changed, the mission has always remained constant. Over the years, United Way has raised over $48 million in campaign funds alone. The power of United Way is a result of working together as a community to give a hand up to someone in need. We rely on hundreds of donors and volunteers each year to make this happen. United Way funds many nonprofits that have programs supporting youth and families, senior citizens, people experiencing homelessness, people in need of food, rent, and utility assistance, animals and pets, just to name a few. Have you heard of Boys and Girls Clubs, American Red Cross, Cooperative Care Center, East Side and South Side Children's Centers? These are some of the wonderful organizations that we partner with to provide services. Just in the past year, our funding has provided over 188,000 units of service to the community. For 9 years, United Way of Pueblo County's middle school mentoring program has been connecting positive and caring adults with middle schoolers in our community. Some of you may have been involved in the program or know a classmate who was. Through weekly communication, mentors help mentees be the best versions of themselves. Our Volunteer Income Tax Assistance VITA program helps taxpayers file their taxes free of charge. In addition to providing free tax prep, VITA works to ensure everyone in the community receives all of the tax credits and deductions that they are eligible for, and to put more dollars back into individuals' and families' homes. The Southern Colorado Nonprofit Directory lists over 220 nonprofits active in communities across our region. We are very fortunate to live in such a wonderful community with so many nonprofit organizations and compassionate individuals working every day to address important issues. While these organizations may have varying missions and services, they continuously work together to address some of our community's biggest challenges. For example, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit our community hard, we ensured important services were provided. Our nonprofit community continues to adapt to aid those having difficulties making dollars stretch to support their needs. When disaster strikes, like when the Phoenix apartment fire left more than 150 people without a home on Pueblo's south side, partners from across the community came together to ensure families in need of long-term housing didn't have to worry about keeping a roof over their head. From human service agencies to youth-focused programs, animal welfare organizations, to arts and culture, our community has it all. If you or someone you know is in need of assistance, there are nonprofits ready to help in any way possible. As young leaders in our community, I encourage you to get involved and spend time volunteering with some of our incredible nonprofit organizations. I first started volunteering when I was about your age. Those volunteer experiences helped me to better understand the community while making a difference for issues I cared about most. Volunteering provided lots of opportunities for networking and gave me a way to start building my resume at a young age. Many scholarship applications will ask what you have done in school and as extracurricular activities, and this is a great way to become involved in your community. Volunteering can also help meet graduation requirements you might have for service learning. Being an active community member can open many doors for you. Plus, there are so many nonprofits in need of volunteers. So don't be afraid to call a nonprofit that is working on an issue you are passionate about and ask how you can get involved. If you need help figuring out how to get connected, don't hesitate to contact us at United Way of Pueblo County. We would be happy to talk with you. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Everybody can be great because anybody can serve." You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. As our motto states, we must all live united. When we do, much can be accomplished. Thank you for being young leaders and continuing doing great things and making a positive difference in our community.
Time or treasure?
If you can't give money, then give time to help others.
Not only does it feel good, but it also looks good on your resume.
Do you volunteer for anything?
Yeah, extra fries.
No, I mean hospitals, food banks, community involvement, that kind of thing.
I guess I should. How do you get involved?
Well, Andrea Aragon is going to tell us how to volunteer and build our own leadership while helping our community.
Hi, my name is Andrea Aragon. Congratulations on participating in MYLIFE. You have been identified as having great potential as a future leader. Way to go. Today I'm going to talk to you about how cool volunteering can be, how important community involvement is, how it can improve your life while helping others at the same time, and I'll touch on the many supportive services that may be available to you, your family, or your friends. I don't know how you feel about it, but when I look back, my middle school years were rough. This was my situation. I was very awkward. I thought it was very ugly. I was a so-so student and very unconfident as a result. Middle school is so tough because it's a time when all you want to do is be cool, hang out with your friends, and try to figure out who you are. Somehow I got through it. Well, I couldn't wait to get into high school, but how could I rise above being that nerdy, awkward girl I was in middle school? How could I make myself stand out? How could I meet new friends and just feel better about myself in general? Well, I stumbled upon my answer by accident. It could be an answer for you. It was the power of volunteerism and community involvement. So here's my story. There was this really cool and nice girl that was a senior when I was a freshman. She was very involved in school activities, and everyone knew who she was. She was enthusiastic, happy, smart, and seemed very confident. I wanted to be just like her. One day, she came to one of my classes looking for volunteers to help her on a school project. I hadn't done a lot of that type of thing before, but I thought, why not? It was one of the most important things I ever did, and it laid the foundation to my personal success in life. Why? Well, there are a lot of reasons, but mainly because a whole new world was opened up to me by just giving of my time. Number one, I met so many new people. I finally felt like I belonged. Number two, I learned a lot, like how to work in a group or how to speak in front of others without feeling like I was going to throw up. As time went on, I grew more confident because I took on responsibility, and I was learning that I could be a leader too. Did I ever fail? Did I ever make a fool of myself? Oh yes, and I still do. One of the greatest leaders in history, Winston Churchill, said, "Success is not final, failing is not fatal, but it is the courage to continue that counts." Remember that. But getting back to why volunteerism is so important, lo and behold, it actually felt good to help, really good. As I became more confident, I was able to figure out what I was passionate about. This is the key to becoming successful. Finding your passion. What do you like to do? What do you enjoy the most? Focus in on that passion, and knowledge and success is sure to follow. Volunteering and being active in my high school gave me so much more than I ever put into it. The same can be said of community involvement. There are so many organizations that would love to have young people like you help their cause. Interested in animals? There's a lot of local shelters that could use your hard work, your care, your compassion. Do you care about people who have hit hard times? Maybe you could help at a local food pantry. I promise that if you volunteer, you will feel good. You might even feel great. And the best thing is, you will help other people feel great too. You know that old saying, it's better to give than to receive? Believe it or not, it's true. And let's be real, you never know when you, your family, or someone you know might need help. We've all been there. I have. Over 20 years ago, I lost my father in a tragic accident. My world was rocked. I had never experienced such grief or despair. After months of struggling, I finally got help from several organizations, one that specialized in suicide prevention and another that helped with grief counseling. After getting help, I was able to slowly improve the depression and anxiety I experienced. I can now cope with my grief because of community organizations and their volunteers that exist to support people like you and I. Maybe you won't need it, and I hope you don't. But if you do, there are a lot of resources out there. There are so many things you can do to help your community, and there are so many organizations that need you, want you, and believe in you. Without volunteerism, community involvement, and support, I wouldn't be who I am today. Because of my volunteerism in high school, I developed the skills that led me to be on student council, serve as a peer counselor, and I became known as a student who could get things done. This led me to my college path at CSU Pueblo, where I was the first in my family to attend college. I was a DJ on Rev 89, which was so much fun. I was an orientation leader and got involved in my community by helping raise scholarship dollars for the Pueblo Hispanic Education Foundation. After my college graduation, I went on to get a fellowship with our U.S. Congressman at the time, working in Pueblo and Washington, D.C. I was actually able to attend speeches made by the President Clinton at the time. I met astronauts, senators, future governors, and even a few movie stars. After my time in Washington, D.C., I was the first executive director of the Latino Chamber of Commerce, an organization that helps small businesses and minority businesses thrive. I went on to serve as an on-air community relations correspondent at a TV station in Florida. I came back to Colorado and worked at my alma mater, CSU Pueblo, for a time, and then spent 17 years as the president CEO of United Way of Pueblo County. It was there that I learned from the other side just how valuable volunteers were in a big way. Now I am the executive director of the Robert Hoag Rawlings Foundation, which supports nonprofit organizations that provide those important community support services we talked about earlier. So many who rely on volunteers to help make life better for all of us. My life has been made so much better because of volunteerism, community involvement, and community support systems. You have the power to do the same. Gandhi, who was one of the world's greatest change agents, said this, and I can't emphasize this enough: the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service to others. I challenge you as a future leader to try it. In the end, I promise you won't be disappointed. Thank you and best wishes to you. Your future is bright.
Wow. How did she ever feel awkward and nerdy?
It looks like there's hope for us all.
The character of our businesses that we shop at and get employed at is also important.
Good business and customer reviews are important.
Our next video shows who can help us know this.
You've seen the torches. You've heard the words BBB on the news, and you've probably even seen companies touting their accreditation as a reason you should trust them. But do you know what Better Business Bureau does? In a nutshell, BBB's mission is to be the leader in advancing marketplace trust. Our team members do this by encouraging and supporting best practices by engaging with and educating consumers and businesses, celebrating marketplace role models with events such as our Business of the Year Torch Awards, calling out and reporting shady business practices and false advertising, and by creating a community of trustworthy businesses and charities. We exist so that both consumers and businesses have an unbiased source to guide them on matters of trust. We provide educational information and expert advice that is free of charge and easily accessible. BBB accreditation is an honor, and not every business is eligible. We work hard to ensure businesses displaying the BBB seal are in fact reputable companies. To show our commitment to these companies, we offer a variety of services to help businesses both big and small interact effectively with their customers, and we do a lot for consumers. Our investigators and resolutions teams work to keep businesses honest and prevent scammers from claiming another victim. Better Business Bureau, we're here for the shopper and shop owner. It's what we do and why we're here. To learn more, visit bbb.org/Northwest.
I always wonder what that BBB sticker meant on windows of businesses.
It's nice to have an agency help us find businesses, brands, and charities we can trust.
Equity is really important.
What do you mean?
Women being paid the same as men, every voice being heard.
Daneya Esgar, our state representative, has a powerful message for us on equity for women.
Hi there. I want to talk to you about diversity, inclusion, and equity, and why those words are so important and what they really mean for our community. Representation matters. When we talk about people in power making decisions every single day that impact our life, we want to make sure that those people look like us, think like us, and have the same values as us. Let's talk about women for a moment. It wasn't too long ago that women didn't even have the ability to vote. And it's still an issue that women don't necessarily get paid the same as a man for the same job. That still happens in our country today. Let's talk about that. We, as women, can do anything. And I hope you understand that. And I hope you believe that too. Anything we put our minds to, we can do. Just this year, I was the chair of the Joint Budget Committee, and I had to make sure our entire legislature was able to pass a balanced budget in the middle of an economic downturn. $3.3 billion with a B dollars cut from that budget. I did it. I was able to drive that ship and make sure that we took care of Coloradans and made sure that we balanced our budget. Any man can do it and any woman can do it. But if we look at the history of who's chaired that committee, it's not very often that a woman has. At our state legislature this year, our majority, I'm proud to say, is women. Women in the Senate and women in the House. And why that's important? How many years have men been the majority and it's never been a conversation? It's time to make sure that the people making decisions are the people that look just like us. If we didn't have women in the state legislature, we never would have passed equal pay. We never would have passed paid family leave, which means if you or a family member is sick and you must take time off to take care of them, you get paid. We passed that on the ballot this year, but that was policy that was driven by female legislators at the state level. We make sure that there's access to health care for all people, for all types of health care. Women have been driving that train. Women have made sure that their families are covered and their families are protected. Let's talk about access to higher education. Women have been driving policy at the state level to make sure that women are treated equally when it comes to making sure that we have access to the same higher education opportunities that our men friends do. It's all about perspective. You want to make sure that people who are representing you look like you, whether that's Latina, whether that's Black, whether that's Native American. We have the opportunity, with the power of our votes, to make sure that we are electing people who represent us. And you have the power to step up as well. Know that you can do anything you put your mind to. You can serve on a board. Someday you can run for a school board, for a city council position. You can run for the state legislature, and yes, as Kamala just pointed out, you can even be our vice president, or better yet, our next president of the United States of America. There's no glass ceilings anymore. It's time to understand that those glass ceilings were meant to be shattered. And it's time for all of us to stand forward in who we are. When we come together as a community to look out for each other within that community, and we lift each other up while we're rising, there's nothing that we can't accomplish for each other in this community.
The glass ceiling has broken.
Did you know our next speaker's own daughter is an alumni of MYLIFE? She got both her degree from high school and college at age 16 through the concurrent enrollment program.
Yes, she has indeed found her pathway to success. She's already an assistant admissions director at a college in Pennsylvania.
Our next speaker is Tanya Quintana from the Center for American Values, located on the Riverwalk in Pueblo. Listen as she shares the center's purpose and challenges us with the 7 pillars of character.
It is an honor to speak to all of you today from our beautiful city named Home of Heroes. How many of you know that we have 4 Medal of Honor recipients from Pueblo, Colorado? One of those 4 heroes is Drew Dix, who's an alumnus from Centennial High School. As a co-founder of the Center for American Values, Drew's passion for educating the youth of Pueblo, along with all future generations nationwide, has grown tremendously in the past 10 years of our existence, and it has guided the center's growth and impact in our community. The purpose of the Center for American Values is to honor service and sacrifice while inspiring the next generation of civically engaged leaders with strong character. You may not know it right now, but I believe in this virtual audience there may already be heroes or heroes in the making. I can say this because you don't have to be a Medal of Honor recipient, nor do you have to serve in the military to be an everyday hero. It has been my pleasure to work with the MYLIFE program for almost 7 years now. I am always inspired by our youth and continue to grow even as a professional myself. When I think about character, I feel that it is always a work in progress for each and every one of us. Despite what is happening around you in your home, in your community, or even in our nation, it all begins with ourselves and how we continue to build our character based on our own integrity, which is doing what's right at all times, no matter who is looking. Also, by holding strong to our own moral beliefs, always paying attention to that inner voice that reminds us that what we may be doing isn't the best idea at the moment, and really just knowing right from wrong. One of my favorite quotes from Maya Angelou is, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." When we think about character, always remember that we can make a difference, not only in our own lives, but also the lives of others. Recently, the youngest poet to ever speak at a presidential inauguration was Amanda Gorman, who I believe became a hero in her own rights to many young people in our nation by speaking so profoundly and clearly. One of the quotes that I believe stood out as a strong reminder to all of us was, "For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it." The 7 pillars of character can help us navigate in our daily lives at home, in our schools, our community, and in our nation. Whether or not you are a student, an educator, a first responder, military service member, a Medal of Honor recipient, medical professional, a musician, even a famous athlete, a parent, no matter what your role is currently or the role you will be in later in life, you can always refer back to these 7 pillars. Number 1, respect. Treat people as you would like to be treated. Number 2, self-awareness. Learn from your mistakes and really try not to make them again. Number 3, self-reliance. Having your own sense of independence, even if it means taking responsibility for your own room, your academic success, physical fitness, etc. Number 4, citizenship and environmental concern. Stay knowledgeable on important issues. Use your voice, study, research, and give back to your community. Number 5, cooperation. We can do amazing work alone, but together the possibilities are endless. Number 6, kindness. It is the simple gestures and kind words that leave long-lasting positive impacts on others' lives. Number 7, empowerment. Again, as Maya Angelou once said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Here at the Center for American Values, we have always emphasized the importance of what it truly means to have honor, integrity, and patriotism. We honor all selfless sacrifices and heroism from not only our Medal of Honor recipients, military members, and first responders, but we honor all heroes from all walks of life. And no matter how many motivational speakers come here to speak to students or to our community, one of the most common threads is their outstanding character. Over the past year, life has been very different for all of us, especially for our students, our educators, medical professionals, parents, caregivers, literally all of us. However, changing your mindset and adapting in the moment is going to continue to build your strong character for lifelong success and overcoming challenging times. As Drew Dick says, nothing is ever as bad as you think it might be. I would like to leave you with one last quote on character from Medal of Honor recipient Bob Carey. Your character is built one decision and one choice at a time, and what you build will determine whether or not you find happiness. I wish the best to all of you, and I hope that you really embrace all that you will get out of the MYLIFE program, because all of us out here, we believe in each and every one of you. So here's 2 new opportunities this year.
Great message about building character based on our own integrity. I think we all have the power to become a hero in our own right.
respect, self-awareness, self-reliance,
citizenship and environmental concern, cooperation, kindness, empowerment. In closing this series on character, remember a quote from one of America's heroes, Wilbur K. Ross.
Always do what is right and you won't be sorry. Or just listen to Michael Jackson's song, The Man in the Mirror.
Until next time, know what path you are on your journey to success.